Hare Krishna. We'll start in just a minute here. We've got another minute, but we'll give it a little extra time. Just let people join.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dharma Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Dandavats pranams, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna, Bhaktimarga Swami, Dandavats pranams, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Welcome. Oh, we can't hear you, Maharaj. Bhaktimarga Swami, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Oh,
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Prabhupada, how are you?
All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Very good, Maharaj. Thank you for coming tonight. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Good.
I'm just getting myself hooked up here. Thank you for inviting me to this important little session.
So grateful that you could come.
Yeah, thank you. Do we have Vrinda involved also?
So Vrinda was not sure if she could make it because she had her grandkids.
Oh, yeah, I understand that. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Okay, good. So who do we have on board?
We have all sorts of, we're just kind of giving it a little more time because we should have a larger group. We'll see how many join. We've got 17 so far, including yourself and myself. So it's members from our community. So.
Mm-hmm. So I see Tori Das, I see Satya,
yep.
See Amani Gaurachandra. Haribol, everyone.
Haribol.
Sajib Sarkar, I don't see his face, but maybe it'll be manifest sometime. Ashish, Haribol, how are you? And of course, Ram Kishore, Anastasia, and those are the people that I have thus far. Hare Krishna. Nice to see you all.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, nice to see you too.
So if I understand correctly, this is like an orientation meeting.
Yep, this is really the kickoff for ISKCON Minnesota with the community.
Nice.
Very, we're talking maybe tops 30 minutes. And in just a minute we'll kind of go through the agenda and then we'll do a formal introduction for you, Maharaj, and then turn it over to you, and then we'll open it up for questions at the end after we talk about next steps with the community and kind of where our focus is, and we'll talk a little about the center. We have a location that we've identified. We're just working on the details. So
that's very much appreciated. Thank you for furthering this forward, taking it to the next level. And I guess I won't say too much until you're ready. You give the green light when we've got a few more people.
Thank you, Maharaj. All right, we'll just give it another pause here. I think one more minute, and I think
Okay,
everyone that's going to come will, we might have some stragglers. We are recording it because some devotees said they had conflicts. So we'll post this on the ISKCON Minnesota YouTube channel, which is new out there. So then devotees can view it for those that could not make it tonight. So I realize it's a Wednesday evening. Many have kids that have sports and stuff. So we'll make sure everyone has the opportunity to hear the video and the kickoff for the community meeting. So with that, I think that puts us at five after. So I think that's a fair amount of time for folks. So what I'll do is I'm just going to I'll leave my video on, but and then we'll start with the presentation. So welcome everyone. First of all, Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhaktivedanta Swami
Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Paricharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Bhaktiyajadi Sutarini Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jai
Jai.
Hare
Jai
Krishna.
Srila Prabhupada. Ki Jai. Thank you so much, Maharaj. All right, so we're going to jump right into it. This is our agenda, very short agenda tonight, because really we just want to do an introduction of the ISKCON Minnesota. And then, so we're going to cover just the welcome, which basically we just did. Welcome everyone, all the devotees. Welcome to Bhaktimarga Swami. We're zone 1. Bhaktimarga Swami is our GBC for us. And along with Vrinda, who she could not, I don't think she's going to make it with her grandkids, but she is our, what's her official title? Because I know it's not secretary, it's
Zonal Secretary, I believe.
oh, it is zonal secretary. Okay, good. I have a good
Or
memory.
regional.
It's too short.
Or
Sorry.
regional, one of the two.
Regional, yeah.
I should know.
Yeah, so I was close. So then I'm going to just do a brief introduction of His Holiness Bhaktimarga Swami, and then he'll have sharing some inspiring words for us, and then we'll talk about next steps, and then we'll open up for questions and answers, Q&A. And if we have time, I can bring up the website. I have it up, and we can do a little tour if that's something folks are interested in, or we can finish the call. So with that, we really think it's important. We looked at this ISKCON Minnesota community vision statement, and I'll read it. And it's the vision of ISKCON Minnesota for the community is to create a community center or temple where people of all colors and creeds can come together and experience the transcendental bliss of chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. As this mantra is non-different than Krishna or God, and is the easiest way to be happy, gain transcendental knowledge, and realize our true nature as spirit souls, all while in service to Srila Prabhupada through reading his books and implementing the 7 purposes of ISKCON, which we do have. We have those listed on our website. I hope everyone, if you're not a subscriber to Back to Godhead magazine, please do. It is in the front page, inside the front cover of every Back to Godhead magazine. And they're really important things to meditate upon. So that's the vision for ISKCON Minnesota with our community, right? So really about spreading Krishna consciousness, which is our movement. That's our movement. Prabhupada made great sacrifices to come here to share Krishna consciousness with the West, and it's our job to continue that movement and that mission. So with that, I'm going to do a brief introduction of Bhaktimarga Swami. So Bhaktimarga Swami was born in Chatham, Ontario, Canada, is also known as the walking monk for having trekked 4 times across Canada. Keeping with the spirit of pilgrimage, he is also crossed the USA, Israel, Ireland, Ghana, Trinidad, Mauritius, I think I'm pronouncing that right, Mauritius, Mauritius, and Fiji Islands. Documentation of his Canadian walks is found in 2 films, The Longest Road by the National Film Board of Canada and Walking, The Lessons of the Road by Michael Osh. Is that correct, Maharaj?
That's right. Yeah.
Okay. As a youth, Swami was a student of fine arts, but took to the life of Hare Krishna monk at age 20 in 1973, initiated by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, Ki Jai. Although pursuing monastic ways, he maintains artistic expression through several mediums. And I was so, by Krishna's mercy, I got to meet Maharaj the first time in New Vrindavan at the last Festival of Inspiration in, I think it was 2017, I believe. It might have been 16, but I got to see your play, Mr. Puri, and it was so mind-blowing and amazing. It was inspiring. So with that, and without further ado, I'll turn it over to Bhaktimarga Swami. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Ram Kishore. And it's a pleasure to be in the company of such great devotees in a very nice part of the world, you know, northern the USA, and where you have loons and fresh water and a lot of, very talented people. The last time I came to Minneapolis and St. Paul's was in 2016. I was walking across the US and I was invited to come up for, to do some classes and do some presentations. So it was like a 5 to 6 hour drive north because I was following Highway 80 and at the old Lincoln Road, the first highway in the world. And of course, that highway turns into 4 lanes, 6 lanes. And so I had to find parallel routes, but eventually made it to San Francisco, starting from Boston, and had the pleasure to see all of you, some of you devotees there. And I also traveled with a youth bus tour once. I guess it's in Minnesota, where the Mississippi River is sourced, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so you've got a lot of good things. And of course, isn't Bob Dylan from up your way? Maybe not everybody knows who Bob Dylan is, but it's a very special place in the world. So I just wanted to say that in Canada, we've been working very unitedly. And I think in North America, we just have these AGMs. They're very meaningful. They're wonderful gatherings of devotees. And it was felt that if we're going to be a zone in Canada exclusively, our American devotees, the leaders felt that, well, there's not much population there. Like we just passed 40 million in Canada. So they felt, well, you've got to take on some states. And when I heard that we're going to get Yellowstone National Park, I said, yay! So Wyoming, Montana, North and South Dakota, and of course, Minnesota and Alaska. So we've had to think not so much nationally, but regionally. It's a northern region. It's a unique region where there is a certain kind of topography and wildlife that we're all very proud of, honestly, right? And it's clean. It's relatively clean. You got to watch out for Canadian forest fires once in a while. And our intent was, I'm quite busy as it is, but I also felt in walking across the US, which was 2016, I thought there's lots of devotees spread everywhere, and they're just hankering for some association, for some senior men or women to come around and give some direction, a little bit of inspiration, right? So that sentiment kind of kicked in, and maybe that's why things are the way they are. And I have to think not so much in a patriotic way, but think, okay, let's look at the US and Canada. I could have gone personally to India where it's juicy and the pickings are good, or Eastern Europe. But in North America, the pickings are a little slimmer. And if you understand what I'm saying, but I love this continent and I love the people. I like the Southeast Asian diaspora to work with. It's always been fun to work with Indian devotees and American devotees and whatever traditional Canadian devotees. It really doesn't matter. And I go to Cuba every year, so I have my Spanish connection, although I don't know when it comes to the Spanish language. It's poquito, I know very little. And I also go to South America, to Argentina, for their Rath Yatra every year. And so I have just a little experience with different people. And I just find that if you just smile a lot, like everybody here is doing on this, in these frames, that it's easy to get things done and to be cooperative. So my conviction is to come and visit you, Prabhus. And now that you're established within ISKCON Center, it makes it very enticing. I also know that Brenda, who I work with closely, she's just a little north of you, and she's happy to come. She's got quite a legal brain. You know, she's really good. She's got a lot of experience. And she's quite effective in most continental issues, especially with a little bit of a legal connection. So my point is to try to come and give inspiration and get inspired from all of you, and make visits. And we're into growth. My mood is let's grow. And to give you an example, in the Toronto area alone, that's stretching from Niagara Falls to a little bit up to cottage country, we've opened up quite a few centers, even in during COVID, believe it or not. And that's what we'd like to do for Prabhupada. But let's get a good grounding first. Let's all work together like one big happy family. Prabhupada did that for us. And it's a spiritual family. We have a lot to offer the world. And, you know, I personally, the reason for opening up a lot of these communities and centers around, I see what other faith groups are doing. They're growing like anything. And so, well, why aren't we doing it? You know, we've got such a wealth of wisdom, and we have the best food. We've got a unique kind of sound. You know, we've got a lot to be proud of. And why not put it into the hands of the great souls who are out there very much needing a change in their lives. So Ram Kishore, you were talking about the 7 purposes of ISKCON. And if we just look at the first one, people are living imbalanced lives, you know. So our mission is to check the imbalanced lives. And one way to do that is to be a good example in all that we say and all that we do. And also not to be shy about sharing at least these 3 things that I was talking about. The 3 things are sharing sacred sound, which is kirtan, sacred wisdom, which is gyan, the philosophy, and also sacred food, you know, and profusely. And at the same time, take care of each other. I would like to add something to the third, and that is give a lot of love. Give a lot of kindness when you administer it to people. And charity starts at home. We just be really nice to each other and learn cooperation. Sometimes it means when it comes to decision making, it's not always that you may be fully agreed to what was the Siddhanta or decided upon, but nevertheless, you agree to follow Prabhupada's prescription. Show your love to me by how well you cooperate with one another, right? And I'm confident that if we just follow his formula of peace, which that Krishna's the enjoyer, Krishna's the proprietor, and Krishna's the friend, the peace formula. We'll keep those things in mind and we'll be fine. And I don't know most of you here, but I can just say, you know, we've got a mature bunch of people, responsible, good family men and women, probably doing pretty good in the business world. So, and having a lot of Brahminical qualities. So what more can you want? Honest. And I hope that we'll try it all out. I hope you don't mind. I have a sort of a light nature. I can't be too serious. It just drives me crazy when somebody's like dead serious, like a stone, you know. So I just have to be myself, and I might crack a joke here or there once in a while, you know. And then hope you don't mind. Looking forward to working with you and giving it a shot. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Maharaj. That's so wonderful. I really appreciate and grateful for your words of inspiration and support. And that's what I mean, ever since I saw Mr. Puri, it's just, you know, and every time I've seen you or talked with you, it's always, you know, I love your energy and humor and lightness and happiness. So thank you very much. So, so before we'll get to questions in a bit. So thank you so much. So I'm going to just, I think this will work.
Lost, right?
Oh,
Can
who's talking? Oh, you're breaking up, Maharaj. Maybe if you turn your camera off, you might have a weak signal. Let's see if he makes it back here. Oh, there we go. Haribol.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, Haribol. Sorry about that. I don't know
No.
what happened.
That's okay. It's technology.
It's not perfect. It's not perfect.
Well, thank you so much. We'll just go on to next steps, if I can get it to advance. There we go. So the next steps that we have on the agenda or the docket to really keep this moving forward in the service of Srila Prabhupada is identifying a centralized location to rent for ISKCON Minnesota. So we have identified a location. It's in the southern part of Minneapolis. It's a beautiful location. We're in negotiation right now for the lease with the owner, and they're very favorable. So very, very favorable. They're so excited about having us lease that space. And both Susie and her husband practice yoga, and her father actually owns the building, the properties, but she manages them. And I think he might be an old hippie because he knew about ISKCON, and he said, these are the kind of people we want to rent to. So that's by Krishna's mercy, right? Because we found this by having faith, and it just came up, and we found it. So so it's super exciting about that. So we'll have more to share once we get closer to the finalizing the lease at that point. If you want to see pictures, we can share that with the group via the WhatsApp group. We'll post some pictures on the ISKCON Minnesota WhatsApp group after this meeting. So just to kind of get everyone excited. It's in a great location. It's a direct bus line that goes down to downtown Minneapolis and the University of Minnesota. So we'll have a pipeline for Universities of Minnesota students to take a bus, because a lot of students don't have cars. You know, the other piece that we're doing is we'll be implementing Child Protection Office training. So anyone that's involved with any children's programs or, you know, anything like that, including the board, will all be trained in child protection. And what does that mean? Again, I can share the new North American Child Protection Office website on the WhatsApp group. I will do that also tonight. And what that means is that our number one priority is to protect our children, because our children are the future of ISKCON, right? They're the future of the movement, and we want to do everything in our power to protect them. And as trained protection officers, I guess you would call, all of us are responsible for the safety of children. And if you see something, you need to say something. And that's really what it's about. So that is so critical. As you know, there's many problems throughout various organizations in the world, not just, whether it's religious or community, where where things have happened to children. And it's not just in ISKCON throughout our history. It's everything. It's everywhere. Every church, it happens. And this is why it's critical. So we are over-indexing and saying we are a child protection group and a community, children number one. So once we do open the center, we are going to start a weekly Sunday feast, like Prabhupada started at 26 Second Avenue every Sunday. It'll be about 2.5 hours. Very basic. Kirtan, little Vedic wisdom of the Bhagavad Gita, very basic. And then Kirtan, and then Prasadam. So very exciting. So that's going to be the first thing we implement with, and then we'll build on that, right? And then the final thing is we're going to work on finalizing some initial committees for service, because there's lots of opportunity for service. And, Prabhupada, as Bhaktimarga Swami did it very well. He could see the mood of each individual disciple, and he empowered them to follow their passion for service, for what they wanted to do. So, you can read it. If you read right now, I'm reading Srila Prabhupada's Lilamrita. I read it every year, kind of building up to Janmashtami and then his birthday. And if you need to read that if you haven't, because you'll hear and see exactly how Prabhupada empowered his disciples. And that's what we want to do with our community. Every devotee is empowered. If you have an idea, bring it forward, and it's good. It's like, yep, unless there's a budget implication, we'll say go, go, go. And if there's a budget, we'll try to figure out how to pay for it, right? Because it's gonna spread Krishna consciousness. So anyways, that's just some examples. So again, because we're in the beginning stages, but so with that, I will just move it to open up for Q&A. What I ask is if you would raise your hand. Let me put this view. Just raise your hand, and then I'll call on you in order, and then you can ask a question, and then put it on mute, and then one of us can answer it. If it's a question for Bhaktimarga Swami, say that. If it's a question for me or any of the board members which are on the call, you can ask that way. But any questions open, please go ahead. And I'm not seeing any hands raised yet. So that means
maybe they prefer to put up feet, being humble.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. Or we did a really good job on communicating. I don't know. But do you have any questions about ISKCON Minnesota? Otherwise I can move to the website. The website does have the history kind of how this came about, why we're doing what we're doing, which I think I communicated in the vision.
I have a question. Can I?
Yes.
I'm Bala.
Is that Balaji?
Balaji, how are
Yeah.
you? Can we see you, Balaji? Is that possible?
Just a moment.
Thank you.
I'm unable to access camera.
Oh, you
Sure.
should be able to. Let me see if this works.
I'm sure that you're a handsome devil. We like to see you.
Okay. Still, I'm trying, but I couldn't
That's
access the camera.
That's okay, Prabhu. No worries.
Okay. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. I have a question. Like, are we planning to any permanent building or something like that?
What was that, Prabhu? Sorry.
For ISKCON temple, are we planning anything like a permanent building or? we are planning to construct something?
That's a wonderful question. Yes, so renting a center is the beginning. So so when a group of us, if you're not, if you could mute, that would be great, because I'm getting feedback. And then if you need to unmute, you can. So a group of us were inspired, and we went to the Naperville Temple opening in Illinois, just outside of Chicago. And while we were driving down, we were talking about this, about starting ISKCON Minnesota and opening an official ISKCON center here in Minnesota. So while we were riding down, we talked about it. We got really excited. We went to the temple opening, super inspirational. And, you know, my Guru Maharaj was there. Shari Das's Guru Maharaj was there. And so the second day, which was on Sunday, we got some time with Prabhupada Swami, and humbly asked for his blessings and advice on kind of what's the next steps. And his advice was start small. So don't you know, start small. And I had a quote, but I can't find it, from Prabhupada, where he said, you know, our goal is from Krishna consciousness. I'm paraphrasing, so forgive me. But he said, our goal is not, we don't need to open temples, but having a center for people to come to is very critical. So you preach to them on the street, you distribute books, but in the West, people like to come to a center and then they can go deeper. And that's a paraphrase from the Lilamrita. I just read it last night, but for some reason I can't find it. And so he said, if you have just one sincere devotee wanting to open a center, it will happen. Krishna will make it happen. So that's where we're starting, is small. So we need a center, then we can build our group of devotees and aspiring, you know, waking up spirit souls, bringing them to the center, having programs. And then eventually the goal will be to open purchase or build a location. So that is part of the long-term strategy. The lease we're looking at is a 1-year lease with a 2-year option. So that locks in our monthly payment, so it doesn't get increased. So after the first year, we have that option to up for another year or two, because it's going to take some time, right? And you just have to start. So hopefully that answers your question, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu. I have a thing, like I live in south side of Twin Cities.
Yeah.
So when I like to share with you, if something wrong, please forgive me. When I talked to one of the city planning one of the members, so he said that in Lakeville City we have some lands which is state or government lands.
Yep.
So we may get for if all they need is the plan and how much we are planning to whatever it makes profit to the city, and how we are helping to the community and all this. If we can give a presentation to the city, they can allot the land for us.
So you're on the ISKCON Minnesota WhatsApp group, right?
No, I was not actually.
Okay. If you I'll message you my cell number, because then we can connect. And we can talk about this, so in more depth.
Sure, definitely.
I really appreciate it. That's wonderful.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Balaji. Prabhu.
Thank you so much, Prabhu.
We have Rukmini Kumar with his hand up. Can you hear me? Can I be heard?
Yep,
Yeah.
I can hear you, Maharaj.
Somebody by the name of Rukmini Kumar has got his hand up.
Let's see here. Go ahead, Rukmini Kumar.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Can you
Krishna.
hear me?
Yes, yes, Prabhu.
Thank you. Thanks for starting this great effort to the Minneapolis and Twin Cities community. This is more than a question I would like to offer. This is a humongous effort, so I would like to understand how I can contribute to this effort in any shape or form that is possible.
That's wonderful, Prabhu. I mean, if you go to our website, ISKCONMinnesota.org, if you will eventually have a sign up where you can sign up for volunteer. Are you on the WhatsApp group, Prabhu?
No, Prabhu, I'm not.
Okay, because that's our main communication vehicle. So if you want to message me your cell number in the chat directly, then I can add you. Or if you go to our website and you can email info@iskonminnesota.org and we can get you added that way too, either way, whatever you prefer. So that's really the best way to communicate with ISKCON Minnesota is through that email. Or if you're on the WhatsApp group, then we can, that's the main communication too. So hopefully that helps. Because we need volunteers, we need leasing a center costs money. We're not here to ask for money tonight, but if you have a sincere desire to help, that is another thing. So all those things. All right. Any other questions? Just jump in. You don't have to raise your hand. We'll just keep it simple. It's informal. We don't have 100 people, so it's not that difficult. So, all right. No other questions. All right. Well, first of all, I want to say thank you so much to Bhaktimarga Swami for your time this evening, and thank you to all the devotees who came to learn about and hear about this wonderful, wonderful, exciting project to opening an ISKCON center in Minnesota. So, any parting words from you, Maharaj?
I just want to say it's a noble cause. I think it's maybe overdue even. That we have something, because I don't know the history so well, to be honest with you, but I see we have some bright stars shining in the sky over there in the form of these frames, human frames that are your great devotees of the Lord. And I'm sure it'll be a nice experience of teamsterism. We have a great gift. Let's offer it to the world in that very unique part of North America. Let's go for it.
Yep.
Actually, when you look at the continent, you're kind of in the center of the, if you look at the whole, from north to south, you're kind of middle of that whole area, like Winnipeg, Minneapolis. That's all. You're at the heartbeat of the continent. So let's beat the heart.
Yep. Jai. All right. And look, we have a raised hand. Pernendu Prabhu, Pernendu Krishna Das. Go ahead, Pernendu.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, I just wanted to please accept my whole obeisances, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. It's nice to have your association again, Maharaj. So
yes, thank you very much. And we've met, and you came to visit us last year, and I met you in India and also in Minnesota when I came in 2016. And I'm looking forward to your association as well. I am a little spread out. I can't always guarantee that I can come, like every month or anything. That's almost impossible. But I'll try to do my best with the help of all of you to create a kind of a situation where we have good committed members, initiated, hopefully, who will have the gift to be able to travel a little bit and help to inspire our communities that are in our vicinity,
Mhm.
Let's make Minnesota super juicy,
Jai.
flowing in Krishna consciousness. Let's make it really happen and there's no reason, nothing stopping us, right? Really. Yeah, nothing.
Nothing. Yep.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you for coming, everyone. Thank you, Bhaktimarga Swami. And look forward to your visit. I know Vrinda and I have been talking, so we'll figure something out that works. So, all right.
All right.
Hare Krishna, dear
Thank
devotees.
you.
Have a wonderful evening. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Haribol.
Vanchakalpatarubhyascha
Kripa
Kripa
kripasinubhyeva
sindhubhyeva cha
patitanam pavanebhyo
pavanebhyo
vaishnavebhyo
vaishnavebhyo
namo
namo
namaha.
namaha.
Jai Hari Ram.
Jai. Haribol. Hare Krishna, everyone.
Hare Bol.